Hello and Aloha Paul, the Baha'i greeting to all the dear people of the planet of the earth. Today is the 9th of March. Time is 11:16 in the city of Guelph, Ontario. I'm beginning to record a new session continuing the chapter of ethics. Today I'm going to be talking about politeness, mannerism, and respect. Essentially, when we talk about politeness, mannerism, the manner, we're talking a way of a conduct and behavior in which we're not creating an unpleasant situation for other people that we do not intend to do. And not only that, but also give pleasure of our companionship with them and receive the same. That you could say this comprises what we could call it politeness. His Holiness the Bob says, faithless are those who are impolite. It's very, very important to be polite. They would see the Bob sitting alone in the room, to the way the Iranian, they show politeness in front of a higher authority, higher, bigger figure. He would sit with his hands on his knees, just like a student in front of a teacher. That's how we people in Iran used to show at least politeness and manner. And they would ask him that, why would you do that, sir? There's nobody here. And he would say that God is always present. In front of him, always I sit with the manner of a polite. So, it's very, very important, this politeness. You're not polite, you can create a lot of conflict, unnecessary conflict, that sometimes runs through the whole nations. I remember a long time ago, I was in Dryden, city of Ontario, around maybe 1991 it was. There were two Wilsons there. They were both rich and pretty nice people, I think. But these two people, two brothers, they never talked to each other. God knows for what, but these are stretches sometimes. And all it is nothing but simple, superficial things that, like there's no shield on you when you hurt the prides of somebody. But the way we show politeness, I think it's clear that in every nation is different, You've seen the Japanese politeness is so different from that of the English, or Iranian, or Arabs, or Africans. But in all these cases, the person would feel that this person is trying to be polite or shows politeness, in most cases anyways. So today in 20th century, because of these diversions of the definitions of the politeness brought about to us by the past cultures and civilization, I'm just trying to make an attempt to give some kind of definition of what politeness or a manner of the politeness is. I think one of which is very important is that the way we talk, are we talking too fast or, improper, loud, or too slow, or, So the way we talk and how we choose the words to speak, to render, our meaning to the person we're talking to. So that would be number one in my opinion. The way we talk in the chooses of, the uses of the word that we choose. Number two, I think we have to always smell good. This bad smell causes problem in many, many people. You know, you're in there, some people, you know, have athlete food, they take their shoes off, and it's just the stench of the smell goes in a room in front of a woman. I remember. It's very, very impolite. So to smell good is important. They say, Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, he was so very much fond of smelling good. He used, you know, fragrance. And baha'u'llah clearly in Kitab says you have to smell good. That's just one of the, you could say, an ethical point of being polite. So the second one I would say to smell good. And number 3, I would say that is the way we dress up. Sometimes the way we dress up, our clothing, our attire, it might be offensive to others. Some people are more religiously inclined. Some people they have different principles, you know, that they don't like a person that's half nude or sexually inviting. It is offensive. We have to be very, in our conduct, in the dressing, to choose somewhere. In the Baha'i faith, Baha'u'llah has definitely relinquished this idea of the way to dress. He says, any way you like it. But Abdul Baha'i, in his interpretation, says that we should not make, you know, that make a mockery out of it. So a balance, you know, a balance has to be carried out in the way our attire, you know, dresses is. Number 4 is the cleanliness. Yeah, like your nails are cut, your hair is there. Just your appearance is pleasant. And if it is dirty and filthy, whether it's your tooth or your face or your beard, I don't know. Anyway, that could be offensive, and it is actually offensive. Number 4. Number 5, I say that in a general way to define whether the, you know, factors, what are the agencies, what are the numbers, whatever you want to call it, of to be polite, is not to create noises from the body. You know, giving out gas or, you know, burping or sneezing. You have to be careful, in my opinion, not to bother others and afflict them with the way that we produce and create noise in our body. Or if we do immediately, you know, better leave the room or, you know, apologize or whatever. That it's very well in Canada and Western countries, they do these things, but I'm just thinking that. And final number 6, I think we have to have this readiness of compliance with the cultures and the traditions of other nations. If we go, let's say, in Saudi Arabia, the way they eat food and the way they conduct, you know, is a bit different than other places. Or in India, for example, in India, you do not shake the hands of a woman. In Arab countries, even 2 men, they kiss each other's lips sometimes. That's how they show their way of being polite. So number 6, I think, is the power and readiness to comply with the custom and the traditions and the way of the living in a country or the nations that we get in. That's basically sums it up, what I want to say about politeness. And I'm going to talk about right now a little bit about the respect. I think to be respectful, those 6 that I just mentioned right now, it's a prerequisite. It's what's needed, you know, it's the very beginning of it, is the introduction to be respectful to others. But again, respecting others is, in my opinion, to study generally and specifically a person that you're talking to or you're wanting to go to see, to see how that person is, or generally speaking, and specifically, to create a conduct, an attitude, a behavior that creates a shield around you, that you won't bother that person or he doesn't bother you also. So it has to be a calculated way of doing things in order to create that respect. You know, I heard that the English people, when they eat food, during the food you do not hear the noise and the sound of the utensil, you know, colliding with each other or with the plates and whatnot. That's not very polite, you know, to do that. Or Persians, when they want to eat food, they always wait for everyone to get to the table, which their table is usually on the floor, and they let the most elderly people to start to eat, mother and father first, and then everyone gets in. All of these respects is essentially a way to create a relationship. Since you don't know the person, supposedly, if you're not very close to, being respectful, that means with a respect to that person, that means you're keeping the distance, you're understanding the distance between you and that person. Based on that, depending on who it is, you call him by his last name. You know, you're not trying to be too friendly right away, which is very common in the West, thanks God. But to be respectful, it lets us to begin to have possibly a positive relationship with a person, or after some time to avoid that person altogether. And its difference with love is that love does not, you don't need to respect. Respect is when there's no love. That means you don't know the person. But if you love the person, the respect really as such does not exist. It's all love, it's all real attitudes, it's real who you are. And, you know, so the